Hey y'all, hey, it's Big Bertha, and today I'll be revealing to you my juiciest wash and go I have ever filmed. And I'm not just talking about the curls. Today's topic is a little different. I'll be spilling the tea about different contributions women made in STEM and how it has impacted the rest of us. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into it. So currently, I'm just showing you the products that I use. First, I started off with my tgin moisture-rich sulfate-free shampoo. Then I went in with my tgin rose water hydrating hair mask. Lastly, the products that I use for my wash and go are my Curls Blueberry Bliss leave-in conditioner and my old reliable Wetline Extreme Gel. If you're curious about any of the products, I linked their Amazon page in the description box below. Okay, so first I want to tell you about HeLa cells. So girl, let me tell you about this absolutely wild story that not only shook the scientific world but also sparked a massive debate about ethics, race, and rights to one's own body. This is all about Henrietta Lacks and those famous HeLa cells. So picture this, it's 1951 and there's this black woman named Henrietta Lacks who goes to see Johns Hopkins Hospital because she's feeling a bit under the weather. Turns out she has cervical cancer. Now, back in those days, it was pretty common for doctors to take samples from patients without asking, especially if the patients were black. Not saying it's right. So when Henrietta's doctor took a sample of her tumor, nobody thought twice about it. They didn't even notify her. But here's where the story gets crazy. Those cells from Henrietta, they didn't die like normal human cells die in a lab. No, they stayed immortal. These cells doubled every 20 to 24 hours. Scientists were shook. They named these cells HeLa cells after the first two letters of her first and last name. Now, HeLa cells were a game changer for science, honey. They helped develop the polio vaccine, uncovered secrets of cancer, viruses, and the effect of radiation and toxic substances. They even went up to space for experiments. We're talking major breakthroughs. The Henrietta, she died unfortunately later that year, and her family had no clue about the cells being out there making history and money. Fast forward a few decades, and the Lacks family found out. Imagine finding out your loved one's cells are being bought and sold, and they didn't even have the courtesy to ask. The family was stunned, hurt, and they felt exploited. Henrietta's cells were doing the most, but her family wasn't seeing a dime or even any recognition. It sparked a huge ethical debate. Should people have rights over their own biological materials? How should they be compensated? It was a hot mess. The story really highlighted issues of informed consent and the exploitation of black individuals in medical research. Side note, I have my own story about when I got my wisdom teeth out and I asked the hospital if I could keep them, and they said no, it's their property. But it came out of my body, so why couldn't I keep them? But anyway, now about the family's legal battles. It's complicated. For a long time, they got nothing. Zip, nada, nothing. But then in 2013, after Rebecca Skloot's book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, blew up and brought their story to light, the family struck an agreement with the National Institutes of Health, NIH. I'm pretty sure you've seen me use that website before. But anyways, they didn't get money, but they did gain some control over how Henrietta's genetic material was used. So Henrietta Lacks' legacy, it's a bittersweet mix of scientific miracle and a hard lesson in ethics and justice. Her cells live on in labs around the world, continuing to contribute to science, while her family keeps fighting for her recognition and rights. And that, my friend, is the tea on HeLa cells. It's all about immortal cells, ethical drama, and a family's fight for justice. Next, we have Rosalyn Franklin. All right, buckle up, because this story is another roller coaster of brilliance, betrayal, and a dash of that good old-fashioned shade. This is all about Rosalyn Franklin, the unsung heroine of DNA. So here's the scene. It's the 1950s in London, and Rosalyn Franklin, this fierce and brilliant scientist, is working at King's College. Now, Rosalyn isn't just any scientist, she's a wizard with X-ray crystallography, a technique that lets you look at the detailed structure of molecules. She's sharp, she's dedicated, and girl, she's about to change the game. Rosalyn is grinding, trying to unlock the secrets of DNA, and let me tell you, she's getting close. She produces this photograph, photo 51, showing DNA structure. It's the clearest picture anyone has ever taken. It's so good, it's about to blow the whole case wide open on how DNA works. Side note, that is Bam Bam demanding for me to take him outside. Yeah, I closed that door. Get off my face. I'm joking. I love my babies. All right. Now enter James Watson and Francis Crick, two ambitious scientists snooping around for any clues on how DNA is structured. They hear through the grapevine about Rosalyn's groundbreaking photo without her permission. Yeah, you heard me right. They get a peek at her Photo 51. Using Rosalyn's photo as their roadmap, Watson and Crick put together the pieces of the DNA puzzle, proposing a double helix model. And just like that, they're ready to take all the credit. Meanwhile, our girl Rosalyn is still doing her thing, unaware of the heist that just went down. The plot thickens when Watson and Crick published their model in 1953 and the world is shook. They become the stars of a molecular biology overnight. And Rosalyn, she barely gets a footnote in this breakthrough story. Tragically, Rosalyn Franklin never gets to see how this story ends. She passes away at the young age of 37 due to ovarian cancer. And get this, just 4 years after her death, Watson, Crick, and another scientist, Maurice Wilkins, who also worked at King's and had access to Rosalyn's research, get awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1962. Rosalyn wasn't even mentioned. Since Nobel Prizes can't be awarded posthumously, which means after death, and are rarely given to more than 3 people, Rosalyn was left out of the glory she deserved. The legacy of Rosalyn Franklin is a testament to her scientific genius and a critical conversation about recognition and respect in science, especially for women. She did the heavy lifting, captured the star evidence, yet her role was overshadowed by her male peers. So there you have it. The DNA drama is all about groundbreaking science, a stolen snapshot, and a forgotten pioneer who deserves so much better. Rosalyn Franklin, the true MVP in the shadows of DNA's double helix discovery. Alright, so get ready for this epic saga of Louise Meitner, the queen of nuclear physics, who went through some real trials and tribulations, but came out a legend in the science world. This is a tale of discovery, escape, and a race against time that feels like something straight out of a thriller movie. So let's set the scene. Vienna, early 1900s. Louise Meitner, our fierce and brilliant physicist, is making waves in a field dominated by men. She's got the brains, she's got the ambition, and she's about to make some serious moves in science. Louise is working with radioactive elements, and girl, she's not just playing around, she's pioneering. Alongside Ada Hahn, she co-discovered a new element in 1917, proteotactanium, which is like finding a hidden treasure in the periodic table. But here's where the plot thickens. Fast forward to the 1930s. Louise is in Berlin, still collaborating with Hahn, and they're digging deep into the atom's secrets. But then the world starts to turn upside down. With the rise of the Nazis, Louise, who's Jewish, finds herself in a dangerous spot. In a twist straight out of a spy novel, she flees Nazi Germany in 1938, making a daring escape to Sweden, leaving behind her work, her home, and her beloved research partner, Hahn. Now, even though she's escaped to safety, Louise's story doesn't stop there. From her now base in Sweden, she continues to correspond with Hahn. In 1939, Hahn and Fritz Strassmann perform experiments back in Germany, and they're stumped by some weird results they really can't explain. So they shoot over the data to Louise. Using nothing but sheer intellect and her knowledge of nuclear physics, Louise and her nephew, physicist Otto Frisch, crack the case. They realize that the uranium atom, when bombarded with neutrons, actually splits into smaller atoms, a process that they name nuclear fission. This discovery, honey, it's monumental. It changes everything. It's the key to unleashing the power of the atom, both for generating energy and, more ominously, for creating atomic bombs. Now, despite her groundbreaking work, when the 1944 Nobel Prize in Chemistry is awarded, it goes to Ada Hahn alone. Yes, girl, you heard me right. Louise Meitner, the woman who made the discovery possible, who fled the Nazis and decoded the secrets of the atom from exile, got zero recognition from the Nobel Committee. They handed the prize to Hahn for the discovery of nuclear fission, but our girl Louise was left out in the cold. Despite the snub, Louise Meitner's legacy is anything but forgotten. She was later honored with numerous accolades and even got an element named after her, Meitneranium. But more than the awards, Louise's story is a testament to her resilience and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. She was a woman who not only advanced science but did so facing unimaginable odds. Louise Meitner did not just unlock the atom, she broke down barriers for women in science, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire to this day. And that, my friend, is the explosive and awe-inspiring story of Louise Meitner. Alright, bonus story, Stephanie Kwolek. Alright, strap in because this tale is about to take you on a ride through innovation, resilience, and that fierce genius of a woman who literally changed the fabric of society. We're diving into the story of Kevlar and the powerhouse behind it, Stephanie Kwolek. This isn't just about science, it's about a discovery that has saved lives and made waves in ways you wouldn't believe. So here's the scoop. It's the 1960s, and over at DuPont, a company known for its innovations, there's this scientist, a chemist to be exact, named Stephanie Kwolek. Now, Stephanie isn't just any chemist, she's a visionary. She's been experimenting with polymers, trying to find a new lightweight fiber that could replace steel and tires, making them more fuel efficient. The oil crisis is looming and everybody's looking for ways to cut down on fuel use. Stephanie in her lab is mixing up a batch of liquid crystalline polymers. Now, most folks expected these polymers to form a syrup-like solution, but Stephanie, she notices something different. Her solution is unusually fluid, thin, and cloudy, traits that typically suggest a failed experiment. But Stephanie's got that instinct, you know. She feels there's something special about this mixture. Against the advice of her colleagues who think testing this weird solution is a waste of time, Stephanie pushes forward. She spins the solution, and lo and behold, it transfers into a fiber with incredible strength and stiffness, and thus Kevlar is born. Now let's talk about what this new fiber can do. Kevlar is 5 times stronger than steel on an equal weight basis. It's resistant to water, corrosion, and flames. When you think of bulletproof vests, helmets, firefighting gear, and even spacecrafts, think Kevlar. Stephanie's invention isn't just a scientific breakthrough, it's a lifesaver, literally. Police officers, soldiers, astronauts, and firefighters are walking around today because of Kevlar. But here's the kicker. Despite her groundbreaking work, Stephanie Kwolek.
What is that? I'm trying not to interrupt.
Sorry. That's her name. Stephanie Kwolek never sought the spotlight. She received the patent and the accolades, sure, including being inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame, but the real legacy of her work, it's measured in lives saved and disasters averted. Stephanie's Kwolek story is more than just a chapter in a science textbook. It's a testament to the power of curiosity and perseverance. She's a pioneer. She's a lifesaver. And she's a beacon for women in STEM, proving that the best innovations often come from thinking outside of the box and sometimes from not listening when everyone else says no. And that, my friend, is the incredible story of Kevlar and the indomitable Stephanie Kwolek, a woman whose legacy is woven into the very fabric of safety. Alright, so that's the end of my storytelling today. So as always, I'm just going to let the rest of the video play out, and then at the end, you'll see my results. Hope you enjoyed. Bye!